this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. 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 I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen vs. the World. I'm Septum Sen. Well, we are back with our Criterion Stroll, Volume 2. Well, this time we're actually going to run into a little bit of a combination. Some of these films are not just mine. My wife's collection was incorporated so that we would have like a combined collection here. So if I run into one of hers and I know it's one of hers, I will let you all know. And I know that at least 2 titles today out of our 10 items are going to be from hers. So let's start with one of mine, Babette's Feast. Of course, I picked this up at the Criterion sale off of Barnes & Noble, as I get most of these. Of course, with all Criterion, you have your essay and a beautiful booklet here. See, there's some more of the feature here. Like that. As you can see, the disc art. Get the disc art for the one. Oh, if I can get it right. There's the disc art for the one. Of course, for the other one. You can see that they fit in rather nicely for this DVD section here. Now, essentially, Babette's Feast is about these 2 older women living in this community, and they take on this one woman who is from the bigger city. And she ends up learning how to cook and do all of this. And, of course, Babette's Feast is about one of the last things that she prepares, because she always wanted to prepare this giant, beautiful meal. And then she was finally able to do so. And this is why they get the name. It is a beautiful film, well worth one's attention and love. So what do we have on this? Well, we have new interviews with director Gabriel Axel, Karen Blixen, storyteller, a 1995 documentary about the author of the film's source story, who wrote under the pen name Isaac Dinson. New visual essay by filmmaker Michael Almerida. New interview with sociologist Priscilla Parkhurst Ferguson about the significance of cuisine in French culture. So, this was a 1987 film. So, it's hard to believe that this was, oh gosh, over 30 years ago, like 33 years ago. But it was. The 80s are quickly becoming ancient history. But a beautiful film, nevertheless. Alright, I'll put you over there. So this one actually is one that is my wife's, which is the Before trilogy. I ended up getting this for her when the Criterion was having a sale. I want to say I either gave this as a birthday present or a Christmas present. I think it was birthday. She loved these with Ethan Hawke and Julie Dipley. So, of course, you have Before Sunrise. Of course, this with its book. We've got the beautiful book here. So, don't think there's anything in the case other than, yeah, it's just red under the case. So I'm going to read each of these out on individual. Exquisitely understated ode to the thrill of romantic possibility. The inaugural installment of the Before trilogy opens with a chance encounter between two solitary young strangers. After they hit it off on a train bound for Vienna, and the Paris University student, Celine, and the scrappy American tourist, Jesse, impulsively decide to spend the day together before he returns to the U.S. The next morning, as the pair roam the streets of the stately city, Richard Linklater's tenderly observant gaze captures the uncertainty and intoxication of young love. From the first awkward stirrings of attraction to the hopeful promise that Celine and Jesse make upon their inevitable parting. So again, they do a lot of good things. A 2K transfer. This is a 1995 film. Let's see here. The spaces between, a new piece in which Linklater and actor co-writers Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke discuss the trilogy. Moderated by critic Kent Jones. 3x2, a new conversation between the scholars Dave Johnson and Rob Stone about Linklater's work, and behind-the-scenes footage from the film's production. So not bad. So part 2, Before Sunset. Again, you can see the darker colors utilized in this. No booklet here because the book is meant to cover all three. But a 2004 film. The breathtaking follow-up to Before Sunrise, Celine tracks down Jesse, now an author, at the tail end of his book tour in Paris. With only a few hours left before he is to board the flight back home to the States, meeting almost a decade after the short-lived romance in Vienna, the pair find their chemistry rekindled in increasingly candid exchanges about professional setbacks, marital disappointments, and the compromises of adulthood. Impelled by the urgent sense that transience of human connection, Before Sunset remains Richard Linklater's most seductive experiment with time's inexplorable passage, and the way love can seem to stop it in its tracks. Yeah, I don't know. I always thought the trilogy probably could have stopped with the first one, but I think it was wish fulfillment, especially on the part of the fans that saw this to its continuation. Of course, we still have some more stuff. We have the soundtrack. We have Richard Linklater, Dream is Destiny, a feature-length 2016 documentary about the director by Lewis Black and Karen Bernstein. Linklater on Cinema and Time, a video essay by the filmmaker. Kogonada, behind-the-scenes footage from the film's production. So, now, totally cooled for Before Midnight. Again, alright. This one was 2013. The conclusion to the Before trilogy finds Celine and Jesse several years into a relationship, and in the midst of a sun-dappled Greek retreat with their twin daughters and a group of friends. The couple soon finds their vacation upended, however, by long simmering problems come to boil, marked by their emotional depth, piercing wit, and conversational exuberance that Linklater and his actors honed over the 2 decades of abiding with these characters. Before Midnight grapples with the complexities of long-term intimacy and asks what becomes of love when it has no recourse to its past illusions. Well, the story really, Before Sunrise and Before Sunset, was really about a flare-up. It was really about a love that burns brightly, but this type of love was never meant to last. And in Before Midnight, it kind of shows that. So, Kind of a depressing ending of the trilogy. But, yes. Let's see, audio commentary. After, Before, a new documentary by Athena Rachel Sungari about the movie's production in Greece. Love Darkens and Deepens, an episode of radio program Fresh Air, featuring host Terry Gross, Linklater, Delpy, and Hawk. So not a bad set of special features, and not bad overall. Alright, done deal. Moving on. Back to mine. Like I said, majority of these are still going to be mine for it. So this one is Through a Glass Darkly. Let's see here. Winter Light and the Silence, the trilogy by Ingmar Bergman. Now, they did a Bergman collection recently that has all of these on it, but I have a lot of Bergman films that are on that collection. I'm like, do I need to do that? Because with a lot of these things, some of these, I mean, like if I were to pick out like a regular DVD, like let's say if I just picked one out randomly, I would say, what's a Blu-ray? Okay. Let's say I were to pick out Babel here. There's not much special about this. There's only like, well, there's no special features on it. You know, if I was to find a collection that had a bunch of special features, it was really cool, I could actually lessen the room these movies take up, of course I would get it. But these are all works of art. If you haven't already told by seeing one, or if you have any Criterion yourself, you know these are works of art. And because of that, it's just, you know, really cool. You can see the kind of inside. There's little designs inside. It's a nice cardboard box there. So let's go through each of these singly. Through a Glass Darkly, which is my favorite of the three. Here. Ugh. So I'm just going to take that. You can see that there. Of course, our obligatory essay. Can't have one of these without an essay. Wouldn't be Criterion. So, while vacationing on a remote island retreat, a family's already fragile ties are tested when Karen discovers her father has been using her schizophrenia for his own literary means. As she drifts in and out of lucidity, her father, husband, and younger brother are unable to prevent Karen's harrowing descent into the abyss of mental illness. And this actually won an Academy Award, 1962, and it deserved every bit of it. It was very well done, acting was amazing, and Bergman is an excellent director. He's not my favorite director, but he's definitely an interesting director. So, special features: high definition transfer, exploring the film, video discussion with Ingmar Bergman biographer Peter Coe, new essay by film scholar Peter Matthews, original US trailer, optional English dub soundtrack, new and improved English subtitle translation, and optimal image quality. Okay. Next one up, Winter Light. So get that. Of course. With our essay again. Book with a bit of stuff on it there. God, why did you desert me? With Winter Light, master craftsman Ingmar Bergman explores the search for redemption in a meaningless existence. In this stark depiction of spiritual crisis, small-town pastor Thomas Eriksson performs his duties mechanically before a dwindling congregation. When he is asked to assist in a troubled parishioner with his debilitating fear of nuclear annihilation, Thomas is terrified to find out that he can offer nothing but his own uncertainty. So again, 1962, the 1 year after the first film. We have Exploring the Film, video discussion with Ingmar Bergman's biographer, essay by Peter Coe, original US trailer, of course, new soundtracks. Well, Bergman really does scream Criterion. The Silence, the last of that trilogy. Of course, you can see here back. There we are. Of course, there's a booklet here. Traveling home by train through the country, seemingly on the brink of war, two sisters, the sickeningly intellectual Esther and the sensual, pragmatic Anna, along with Anna's young son Johann, are forced to disembark in an unknown city in order for Esther to rest. Attempting to cope with their alien surroundings, the sisters resort to their personal vices while vying for Johann's affection. And in doing so, sabotage what little remains of their ambiguous relationship. An extremely sexually provocative film in its day. So, again, exploring the video, film discussion with Ingmar Bergman and Peter Coe. Poster gallery, essays, trailer, soundtrack. 1963. It's an interesting little trilogy there. So here we are. But that's not all. It comes with a fourth disc. Ingmar Bergman makes a movie. Again, there we go. And of course, no essay here. Well, a little bit, but not much. Very short compared to the others. So, this was done in 1963. The year is 1961, and Ingmar Bergman is making a movie. While planted on the scenes as apprentice to Bergman, Violet Schulman, director of I Am Curious, suggests to Swedish television that they take the opportunity to record with the acclaimed director. In August, Schulman and television crew began to capture that the world became a comprehensive 5-part documentary of the making of Winter Light. Very nice. Very beautiful collection. Worth having for any Bergman fan. Now, this next one, oddly enough, is also my wife's. I believe she ended up buying this on one of the Criterion sales, which was The Big Chill. It's right here. So, again, you can see some similarities in how they get them done. There's not much to the art on this other one you can see. There's a third disc over here. A similar style. Of course, your booklet with your essays. And of course, some pictures here. After the shocking suicide of their friend, a group of 30-somethings reunite for his funeral and end up spending the weekend together, reminiscing about the shared past as children of the 60s and confronting the uncertainty of their lives as adults in the 80s. This was done in 1983, and it has quite a few things. It's got 4K digital restoration. Also, let's see here, interview with Costin, reunion of the cast and crew for the 2013 Toronto Film Festival. Let's see here, documentary from 1998 on making the film, deleted scenes, trailer, plus a booklet. Yay! Not a bad Blu-ray there. So next is another one of mine. Looks like there's 3 of hers on here, because I believe I definitely own the rest of them. This one is mine, though, and a Blu-ray. First of my Blu-rays of this, because the others have belonged to my wife. So this one here is The Blob. The old school Blob movie. The old 1958 Blob. But you can see kind of like the way it's got that there. So I always got to wonder about it. It's got your... oddly enough, this time in the back itself, it has all of the chapters with the book with the poster on it, which folds out to the essay. This is a cult classic. Many people grew up on the 80s version of the Blob, which is very scary and did get a re-release not long ago. It's been long due for a re-release because it was a lot scarier. But believe it or not, other than the oddly inappropriate song at the beginning of this, it really was a creepy film. It did a really good job, really great acting, and I would definitely recommend it to horror enthusiasts. Let's see here. So we've got this Blobabilia, a gallery of collector Wes Shank's trove of rare skills, posters, props, including the Blob itself, with other ephemera, trailer, plus an essay. There's not a lot here going. Let's see here. We got some commentaries as well. Unfortunately, not a lot going on here, but still decent. The last of the ones that belong to my wife on this particular one, Breaking Waves. Now, she had this when we first got together, so this is pretty... This one's been here for a while. Oh, wait, yeah. It was. So let's see here. Yoop. The big booklet right here. It's actually a very well put together one. A lot of essay stuff. I just gotta get in there and just watch this collection. Once I can get all of the stuff that I haven't watched, if that ever happens, I'll have to do what I was doing at one point and just rewatching everything, all the special features, everything together in one go. Well, not in one go. Alright. Lars von Trier became an international sensation with the galvanizing realist fable about sex and spiritual transcendence. The Oscar-nominated performance, Emily Watson stuns as Bess, a simple, pious newlywed in a tiny Scottish village who gives herself up to a shocking form of martyrdom after her husband is paralyzed in an oil rig accident. So, the expensive, both brazen and tender, profane and pure, it is an examination of the expansiveness of faith and its limits. Done in 1996. So, let's see here. Of course, commentaries. New interview with filmmaker and critic Stig Bjorkman. New interviews with actor Emily Watson and Stellan Skarsgård. Interview from 2004 with actor Adrian Rollins. Excerpts from Watson's audition tape with commentary by von Trier. Deleted and extended scenes with commentary from Von Trier. Deleted scene featuring the late actor Kitrin Cartledge. Cannes Film Festival promotion clip. Trailer, 1 Blu-ray, and 2 DVDs. Quite an extensive one. I actually like this. This one was done well. Almost wish it was mine. Now we're back to mine again. So this is broadcast news. Back to DVD again, too. So you can see the back here. This one actually has a pretty cool inside cover. So I'm going to have to suspend that so it's disc 1. Disc 2. And as you can see, that's the inside booklet. It's pretty cool. So as I put these back. With a rather nice booklet. I mean, you can see the little... You wouldn't really recognize this if you didn't grow up in the 80s/90s, because it's not really familiar to most people these days. And of course, this was a 1987 film, so makes sense. For when it was done, you're very used to that screen. Since the 1970s, the name James L. Brooks has been synonymous with intelligent television comedy. His shows are insightful, but the work and love always plugged into the zeitgeist. He is also a master storyteller of the big screen, and none of his films is more quintessentially Brooks than broadcast news. This caustic look at inside the Washington news media stars Holly Hunter in her breakthrough role as a feisty television producer torn between an ambitious yet dim anchorman. So this one actually has, it looks like, a decent number of, special features. But let's see here. We had some audio commentary from Brooks and Marks, original trailer. James L. Brooks, A Singular Voice, the new documentary on Brooks's career in television and film. Alternative ending and deleted scenes. New video interview with veteran CBS News producer Susan Zrinsky. Featurette containing on-set footage and interviews with Brooks. So, actually not bad with what you've got here. Alright, next, a Blu-ray. 3 Colors by Krzysztof Kieslowski. It's for the movies Red, White, and Blue. Okay, let's see if I can get Blue out of there. Blue don't want to leave. Blue's like, no, I don't want to go. Don't allow me. So, of course, this is the book that comes with it. It's a rather cool-looking book. And I've seen these separately as well, but when I saw this as a group, it's just kind of cool to have it all. Okay, so we'll start with Red. So again, the Red does have something underneath, it looks like. No, not really. So you can see the inside of Red. Okay. So this is the last of the 3. I'm going backwards. Let's see here. So he closes his trilogy in grand fashion with an incandescent meditation on fate and chance. Let's see here. Okay, so it has starring Irene Jacobs as a sweet-souled yet somber runaway model in Geneva whose life dramatically intersects with that of a bitter retired judge, played by Jean-Louis Trintignant. Meanwhile, just down the street, a seemingly unrelated story of jealousy and betrayal unfolds. Red is an intimate look at the forged connections and a splendid final statement from the remarkable filmmaker at the height of his power. This is 1994. Let's see here. Cinema Lesson with the director. New video essay. New interview with actor Irene Jacobs. Behind the scenes footage. Short documentary on the film's world premiere at Cannes. Krzysztof Kierowski, I'm So-So. A 1995 feature-length documentary in which Kierowski discussed his life work. Original trailer. Yep. So let's go to the second film in it. White. There's the background there. It's harder to do in the light here. But you can see that kind of that there. 1993. The most playful and also grittiest of Krzysztof Kierawski's three colors films, Adventures of Carol, a Polish immigrant living in France. A hapless hairdresser opts to leave Paris for his native Warsaw when his wife sues him for divorce. And then frames him for arson after setting her own salon ablaze. So again, we get another lesson with the director, new video essay, new interview programs with one with three colors co-writer Krzysztof Pierce and one of the White actors. Short documentary on the making of White. Two short documentaries, 7 women of different ages, and The Talking Heads. Original theatrical trailer. So, there you go. And now the first of the very blue. Of course, they're the colors of the French flag, if you haven't figured this out, since this is not an American piece. 1993. I do like that just rich blue color that they have. In the devastating first film of the Three Colors trilogy, Juliette Binoche gives a tour de force performance as Julie, a woman reeling from a tragic death of her husband and young daughter. So, again, another cinema lesson, another video essay, a new interview with Three Colors composer, street scene commentary, reflections on Blue by Kieslowski, the early years interview programs featuring film critic Andrew. Let's see, The Tram, a student short by Kieslowski, and The Face, another short starring him, and the original trailer. So one of the things I like about Oscars, sometimes they will put some of these lesser known shorts on here, which is kind of cool. But that's the Three Colors. Next one is one that's pretty easy to go for. Kevin Smith, people who love film know this, Chasing Amy. I would have gotten this regardless, but it's kind of cool to have a Kevin Smith film on Criterion. I'm hoping that they'll put Dogma on Criterion or some of these other ones. He's got some really amazing films. Of course, this one is interesting as you've got like, really and truly, this is one of the ones that you had, what is his name? Ben Affleck done well. So, of course, you got this, which is pretty much the cover, but I love how they have the booklet here with the actual cover that shows her. Of course, this is where Bluntman and Chronic first kind of really rears its ugly head with Brad Pitt, yes. Well, you know, with Ben Affleck as the artist that does this. That he falls in love with an artist, artist Alyssa, but the only problem is she is a lesbian. So, it's kind of an interesting, very interesting and deep take on relationships, love, and sexuality. So, you got the soundtrack. New video introduction to the DVD film with director Kevin Smith. Screen-specific audio commentary by Smith, Scott Mosier, and Ben Affleck, and Jason Mewes. Associate producer Robert Hawke. Miramax exclusive John Gordon, and View Askew historian Vincent Perea. 10 deleted scenes plus outtakes. Special video introduction from the cast and crew. The Universe Legend, a guide to the characters of the New Jersey trilogy. Yeah, it's not a trilogy. But, yes, this was supposed to go along with, I believe, Clerks and Dogma, or maybe even Mallrats. I cannot remember which one it was. But, yeah. Probably Mallrats. So, Che. Strong one to end on, right? That's interesting. Motorcycle Diaries I also have somewhere in the collection, and that's also, of course, more Che Guevara. He was instrumental in the revolution in Cuba. Love him or hate him, he was an important person. Did terrible things, but great all the same. This is a massive undertaking of a documentary. Well, not documentary, sorry. Of a film. That's part 2. Part 1. Hey, it's Castro! Right here. Now we got our essay. Look. Can't have Criterion without an essay. So again, this is about basically the life of Che Guevara and the struggle for Cuban kind of independence of what they were, well, the government that they were under. So part 1 has commentaries featuring Lee Anderson, Making Che, a new documentary, deleted scenes and theatrical trailer. Disc 2 with the part 2 has another commentary, interviews with participants and historians of the Cuban Revolution, End of a Revolution, a short documentary made in Bolivia right after Che's execution in 1967. Che and Digital Cinema Revolution, and deleted scenes. So this was made in 2008. This is a long haul, so if you want to watch this, you really better prepare. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed this stroll down my Criterion Lane, and we will see you again for our next stroll down Criterion Lane again if you're just here for the Criterion, but if not, I'll see you for TV next week. Goodbye.